Ahoy! And welcome to another episode of Mandatory Redistribution Party. Today's our half birthday. It's been 6 months since our pod crawled out of our hearts and into the iTunes podcast library. What an auspicious occasion, IMHO, to launch a Patreon. It was always our intention to do some crowdfunding eventually, especially after our sponsorship from Argos fell through. But we're both so squeamish about asking for money from anyone for anything. And yes, that has hindered our career in live entertainment. Thank you for asking. I think it's very easy to advocate that everyone should get a fair wage for the work they do. And it is equally easy to forget that you yourself are a one. And maybe you could be remunerated in some way for the mountain of work that you've done on yet another creative project that no one has actually asked for. The pitch for the Patreon, or if you prefer, the Patreon pitch, is as follows. Your donations are going to buy me and Jack the time to make the podcast better. We have had a lot of ideas and plans over the last 6 months that we simply cannot make the time to do right now. We estimate we already put in about 10 hours an episode between the travelling, recording, research, writing, editing, composing, mixing, mastering, admin, copywriting, marketing, etc. There simply isn't enough time in our lives to do any more than we currently are. So your donations are going to free us up to pursue a number of secret, clandestine projects that we're going to go into more detail about on the Patreon itself in the coming weeks. In return, we're going to give the patrons themselves access to bits and pieces of additional content, exclusive updates, community feedback, and other extras as a way of thanking those who have parted with their precious scraps. You can find a link to our Patreon in the episode notes below. And with that said, let's get back to the ep. In today's ep, short for episode, I hurtle Jack into a possible future where he designs the first ever Mars colony. However, what was initially intended as a thought experiment to discuss human-focused urbanism takes a number of unsettling sci-fi turns. What a shame. Please enjoy. You wake up early Sunday morning by a deep rumbling and a piercing lime green light sneaking through the edges of your curtains and soaking your room in an unearthly glow.
The Hulk? The Hulk?
Could be.
How early in the Sunday morning?
You don't know. You've just woken up.
Okay, I'm bamboozled, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no electricity. If you have an alarm clock, it's off. If you've got a watch, it stops. What's going on?
What if my watch isn't electric and it's wound?
It stops. Spookier still. It can stop steampunk contraptions.
Describing just a watch as a steampunk.
Watches. Yeah, they are.
I agree with that.
What do you think they based it all on?
I don't know, but they're not like a fantastical, mythical. Look at this watch from 1870.
Yeah, they are. They're incredible.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, you're really being pissy about watches. They're amazing.
So I've checked my watch and it's stopped at whatever time this event.
Oh yeah, so you might not know it stopped. No, you can see the second hand has stopped. Mm-hmm. I guess it is telling you the time this started. But who knows, maybe it started hours ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm trying to create an effect of temporal disorientation.
Okay, so green glow.
Yeah?
But
house is rumbling.
I know I went to bed Saturday night, so I think it's Sunday.
Yeah.
I've definitely been woken up before a full sleep cycle.
Yeah, you're remmed out.
I'm bamboozled.
The rumbling suddenly stops and your entire house begins to feel weightless. You and all your bedroom furniture are abandoned by gravity and float around, bumping into each other, tapping each other gently.
Because I built my bed, the screws they gave me were like a little bit too short. And then I went to Wix to try and get, I was like, have you got longer screws? Because it was from Vietnam, and the company that...
Why did you get it?
Well, I didn't buy it from Vietnam. I bought it from some bed company online.
Yeah, and they let you know afterwards.
Well, I got the box and it was all like Vietnam, blah, blah, blah. And then I emailed them and I was like, these are the wrong screws. And their response boiled down to, I don't think the company that made this bed exists anymore. Which, it was a affordable bed, but it's essentially being held together by gravity. So as I float up, if I'm still on my bed, I'm having a bad time. Although it's supposed, I'm floating as well.
You're floating as well. It's not that the bed collapses and you hurt yourself. Everything is now gently wobbling around.
Yeah.
Not even wobbling.
Yeah.
Probably not even moving.
Just like kind of...
Yeah, that's the floating noise you just made, yeah. Suddenly you're pulled into warp speed. You feel like you've swallowed your own head. A crash.
Got a big head.
Now all of your furniture lands on top of each other.
Right, then the bed's fucked.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah. But you're still in absolute darkness. You see nothing.
Absolute darkness?
Yeah.
So the green glow's gone?
Green glow has disappeared during warp speed.
Okay.
Silence. You can see nor hear nothing. You can't see, your room's a mess. You're forced to leave as you are.
My room's already a mess.
How do you sleep? Nud? PJs?
Boxes.
Okay. You can't find any clothes because everything's sort of crumpled in a random space.
Again, not much change.
Okay, so you've got to find the front door. You enter a large space hangar. Chrome steel. On the far wall, it's the SpaceX logo. Except you look again. Was the X of the SpaceX logo always depicted with an intersecting hammer and sickle?
Be a lot easier to make that X into something else.
Yeah, luckily it's not that.
Good. Thank God. That's why I got scared it was going to be that.
You're taken by a steward in space dungarees.
Yeah.
To a central office where the situation is explained to you.
Okay.
You've been pulled into the far-flung future of 2026. Where global communism has been achieved.
Yeah.
And you, Jack Evans, were its greatest martyr.
Oh no, what?
I won't tell you what happened in case it affects the time stream, but you're considered a hero. And in the future, mandatory redistribution party is a valued cultural artifact like Friends is in our own time.
Okay.
To honour your contributions and to learn from your wisdom, they're going to put you in charge of designing the first city on the first of the new Mars colonies. This city will then be used as a template for all future cities. This is your chance to design from scratch and design cities truly made for people on Mars.
But I've been warped out of 2020 to 2026.
Yeah, they just considered that was when you were in your prime.
But...
because when they met you in 2024, when the war's already raging, you seemed a bit haggard.
But by taking me out of the timeline, do they not?
They're going to erase your memories before they put you back.
Oh, and send me back.
They want to find out what Jack in his prime would create as a city on Mars, then wipe you and then pop you back.
I can only assume they have made a mistake, and my role in bringing about communism and our role as Mandos.
I'm not even mentioned.
Yeah, that's worrying.
They've not even heard of me.
That's worrying. Yeah, something's happened. I'm assuming you've probably done something.
I turned.
Yeah. And there's a mistake been made that I've had to go along with. So, but let's put that aside. I'll accept the premise. So I'm in the future and I'm on Earth.
You don't know where you are.
Don't know where I'm. Just in a hangar. So if it's SpaceX, presumably
you could be on space. You could be on Mars. You could be on Earth. Could be somewhere else. Unlikely.
With gravity.
Yeah.
Where is the city going to be built?
Your choice. Mars is currently just a big sphere.
Can I terraform?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, terraform Mars.
Okay, so what's Mars got now?
Ecosystem.
Okay, so what is the ecosystem like? We've got grass, we've got trees, we've got breathable air.
Yeah.
We've got running water, we've got an ocean perhaps.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to say anything about the gravity, so it'd be slightly lower gravity. I'm sure that'll fuck up a lot of the plants and animals and stuff.
Well, it means you can't directly take an animal from Earth and put it on Mars because it will get ill.
Yeah, but you could start it off there and then they'd be even more massive. Imagine a giraffe in lower G.
They don't get that much bigger. But then maybe humans will get bigger as well. So relatively speaking, everything's the same size because we're an organism as well. So we'll have the same effect.
Yeah. If we're born on Mars. Yeah.
Which after one generation, it means everything's normal.
Okay, so, and then no one can go back to Earth.
Well, you can. It's just a bit small.
Yeah. And it hurts.
Yeah. It hurts a bit. And it's
hurts
small.
your back. Everyone, but
Do you want to go to Earth? Nah.
Yeah, terraform
Did my
Mars.
back in last time,
I feel like
and everything's small.
when you build a city, you want to do it where there's not much going on. You know, they didn't... Milton Keynes. I'm not going to make Milton Keynes.
Cities that have been designed from scratch, from nothing, have tended to be like bad and something sterile and bad about them. But also cities that were designed organically are full of all these strange, not just inefficiencies, but they're designed in like bizarre, weird ways. And even in America, which is like probably like the closest you'll get to a designed country, there were inequalities built into it. Did you know that in America, all the poor housing tends to be on the side of the city downwind of the train stations and the big industrial areas, so that all the smog and shit would blow in that direction, because they were like, just put them over there.
Yeah. And then loads of stuff like New Deal redlining, which like created ghettoization. The big one is that they had more public transport networks in certain cities in America, and then either stopped making them or dismantled ones that existed to facilitate cars.
There was a big time when just the public transport infrastructure became so politically untenable that projects already underway became abandoned.
Yeah. And there's but bonkers stuff, isn't there, where like suburbs in America are designed to be driven around rather than walked around. So there's like bits where you could be 100 meters away from another bit of a suburb, but it's been built by a different developer. And so if you were to walk it, there's no like little path or, you know, like little alley you could go down. That just doesn't exist. You'd have to walk miles and miles all the way around to get there. So obviously I think planning would, because that's corporate planning, isn't it? It's not like...
Well, it's about having this multiplicity of private firms whose only job is, I will make an estate here. And none of their plans take into account where like the nearest shop is. But they're not interested in urbanism. They're not interested in how this connects to the city. You're just the player character from SimCity.
I don't know if it's SimCity or City Skylines. They like really tried to model it on actual city building. And they had to change it because if it was based on actual city building, you would just need way, way too many parking lots for it to be an interesting game.
Oh, right.
So they had to massively pare down the number of parking lots you need.
I know that City Skylines has done like a real number on how complex the traffic can be. And lately, I think the big question of city design is just, how do you let people move around? America's really struggling with it because they cannot think in any shape that isn't the shape of a car. And yet they desperately understand there's overcrowding in their like urban city centers. And then Elon Musk will come and go, oh, how about this sort of Godzilla ray that teleports the car around? People are like, well, I'll spend $5 billion on that. Rather than someone going, have you heard of a train? Have you heard of this?
Yeah. Prioritize public transport.
And what does public transport look like?
Monorail.
Monorail, is that good?
Yeah.
I think monorails are like bad for a reason. Aren't monorails, they were like the Simpsons episode that's parodying the thing is that...
my monorail will be great.
Monorails were like a hype thing for a while, but they're not practical. They're like a train, but with loads of extra problems. It has to be
elevated train.
Are you aware of like the trains that hang in Germany?
Nemesis.
I think it's in a place called Wuppertaler. There's a train that hangs up. It's like an inverted monorail where the train hangs upside down. I mean, you're sitting the right way up. No, it's worse because...
Is it like Nemesis?
It's like a slow Nemesis, yeah. It's like if Nemesis was designed to be public transport.
Actually, do you know what? Nemesis.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Nemesis.
But accessible Nemesis.
What, wheelchair accessible Nemesis?
Yeah. I have to create some way of making it accessible.
Well, I mean, you could make some of
I'll put the scientists on it.
Are we talking Nemesis where like you get strapped to the frame? You get strapped to it and then it's...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like luggage is a...
there's a luggage bit.
Yeah, okay. But that also gets smashed.
Yeah.
Is it going the speed of Nemesis?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all going to get smashed around in there.
Less gravity. Yeah, you strap it in. Magnets.
It's the everyone's
suitcase has got a magnet on it and you press a switch and then it magnets and everything inside it is stabilized.
I suppose if all the people who make suitcases know that the Nemesis is the most popular form of transport.
Sorry, only.
So if someone needs to get to the hospital,
they wait for Nemesis.
Someone's in labour, they've got to go via Nemesis.
That's why it's fast.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we need them to get to the hospital ASAP. Not to worry, they're going on the Nemesis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the Nemesis goes through, because we're building everything from scratch, the Nemesis goes into the hospital and through it.
Well, that's what they had with these German ups. I think there's one in Germany, maybe one in Canada. One of the problems with that was like when it stops, people either need to have a raised platform or they're just hanging off the edge. Like if it were to stop and break in the middle of 2 stops, people just hanging like meters above the ground. How do people get off? Not like a train. If it stops, you can just get off of the train. So they started, I think in a few instances, there are buildings that can go into, like shopping centres. And so you've got this shopping centre with this massive hole in it.
Yeah.
Unless you know about the public transport, you don't know why there's a hole in this shopping centre.
Love it.
And then a train goes in it.
Yeah, Nemesis comes through. Yep. All the schools and hospitals have got their own Nemesis stop.
Okay.
And
is it going to be like a tube line where there's all these intersecting nemeses?
Yeah. So if you need to do a change, you can.
Are you using the name Nemesis?
I am not using the name Nemesis. I'm using the name Friend.
Okay. I'm going to catch the friend.
Yeah.
So
you say I'm going to hang out.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are sort of stealing the language that allows people to communicate actual friendships.
Yeah.
And now they can only use those terms to refer to moving around at high speed or strapped to a metal chassis.
They can do that with their friends.
Yeah, they can do it with their friends, yeah. You might have a problem where a lot of people are going on public transport just because it's fun to be on.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't need to be a problem. Okay, so we know how people get around. What else is going to be new? Where are people going to live in relation to everything else?
The word in my head is the word super scraper.
Okay. Like those ones where like there's a garden on top and then this floor is a school and then this floor is the library and then the rest of it's like houses.
So when they put the gentrifying property investment companies in Manchester, if you look at anything they're selling, it's always like there's a flat in here, but there's also a gym and a bar. So, I mean, there can be a gym and a bar, but there can also be schools and stuff. So
that's like a gentrified, privatized apartment complex.
Yeah.
But like the Barbican Centre and the community built around there.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like you can also do it from like a very socialist perspective of going, we don't need all the people living there. Like, again, this is going back to America. Like they have people that live just in this area with nothing else in it but houses. And then everyone has to travel all the way out of it to get to school or a shop.
Yeah. And suburbs developed, a lot of that was racially motivated, of like black people moving and then whites going like, oh, got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Pretending it's not about racism.
Well, I think it developed through that, but then it just became the way you build houses. Yeah. And then people just mass build. Like I lived in a village when I was a teenager and they just built a new estate and it's just loads of houses.
Yeah. Levitt towns.
So once you go in it, there's nothing there. You have to leave this estate if you want anything of any kind.
Yeah. There's very rarely even like a corner shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Grim. No.
So you're going to have like just the houses are on top and around of all the facilities people will need.
Yeah.
Someone could live on top of the hospital.
Yeah. And they have turbo lifts as well.
What's a turbo lift? Just the same speed as the Friend?
Turbo lift, yeah, pretty much.
Friend speed.
But it can navigate, it doesn't have to go up and down. Sometimes it can take turns and stuff inside.
Oh, like a Willy Wonka elevator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would allow you to you don't need skyscrapers. You could have these massive cubes.
They can be cube.
Because I think the skyscraper is built around the lift, right? So if the lift is no longer restricted to up and down, then I guess you could have just a massive complex that is just a huge sprawling, either a cube or it will look like just a mass of just different cuboid bits all stuck to it.
They don't even have to be cuboid.
Yeah, that's true.
There could be like spheres on them. I mean, that'd be a nightmare to put a bookcase up.
I was going to say, like living in when people make like cylindrical towers,
nightmare.
They can't furnish them.
No.
Because all furniture presumes.
The only time you need to circle things when you're building a turret. There's no turrets. There's no enemy on. We don't discover anything on Mars that's a threat, right?
Not yet. There is one quarter of Mars. Well, there's 1/4 of Mars absolutely unexplored.
Right. That seems like a problem.
No. Why would it be? If there was life on Mars, it wouldn't just live on 1/4. You'd see evidence of it.
It might.
It might. Probably doesn't.
I don't want to colonize
Everyone
Mars.
there is saying probably not, mate.
Don't want to colonize it. It has to be actually empty.
What, communism can't exist alongside another unknown life form?
Oh, it can, but I don't want to start doing communism and then go, oh no, we've accidentally done this on the bones of a civilization that only awakens every 100 years. And now they're awakening and the hangouts have collapsed and like the cuboids being torn apart by these tentacles, and we've enraged it, and it's a misunderstanding, but we've accidentally colonized them. And then everyone thinks, well, I've been living here for 3 generations now. I regard this as my land. And then starts fighting the tentacle, become a
But I mean, that's the problem of everyone who's tried to like start a new city in where they believe is just some unused land. Like the story is always,
that's why I went to Mars.
There's something here.
That's why I went to Mars.
Yeah, and they believe there's nothing there. I just cannot absolutely rule out there isn't. What's that Vin Diesel film where like the planet's uninhabited, but they've got like 3 suns, and once every 1,000 years, all the suns go away, and it turns out that the life that lives on this planet is nocturnal.
Pitch black.
Yeah, pitch black. Yeah. You could be in a pitch black thing where there could be like a once every 1,000 years re-emergence of the true inhabitants of Mars.
Okay, I'm putting some guys on that. Okay, I'm opening the tab to put R&D.
Yeah, you're doing base management.
Yeah, I need to get some researchers. What is on that quarter? Okay. Send out explorers.
The heads-up display says that they'll move at like a fraction of a percentile per year.
Oh, fuck's sake. Can't we build a hangout to there? Once we got the machines to build that. Be pretty quick.
Okay, you go there, and there seems to be nothing there. Nothing
It's this use of seams that's given me real... What?
And yet there's loads of very strange...
Are there structures? You're going to say structures? I can see it. You're going to say structures.
Rock formation.
Oh, right, yeah. Structures!
Just seems hard to understand how just the Mars wind and...
Yeah, they've not... They
Seems how hard... How
yeah, unnatural. Like as if someone's made him.
Someone's
like
jumping the gun a bit here. Just formations. Just strange patterns.
Okay. Well, I'll leave a note.
Probably not intelligent life.
I'll leave a note.
Stupid life.
In every language on Earth.
Great.
And well, so it can form a Rosetta Stone thing for them.
No, a Rosetta Stone only works if you know what.
Yes, I know. I know that. I know that. I know they need their bit. Yeah, I know they need their bit. This
language is really confusing because it changes all of its form and grammar after every few lines.
No. They know it's all the same thing. So then if they clock one, then they can figure out all the others as well. But what I need to do is figure out a way.
But they're not going to know it's in lots of different languages. They'll think it's the hardest language they've ever read.
Yeah, maybe one. Okay, I'm backtracking. So I'll leave a note. I get my R&D guys to figure out any possible way they can communicate. I leave like maths, whatever. Try and show them something. I don't know. I try to leave stuff that's like not coming to get you. If you want to come over to the cuboids, come on down.
We've built a cuboid here, and now we've put maths on your town. That will ingratiate us to you.
Well, I don't know. Maybe some cakes, Battenberg.
Poison.
Oh, shit.
Just marzipan.
Water.
Poison.
What? Poison?
It's Mars.
Okay. All right. Well, I ignore them. We go back to base.
Fuck it.
I'll deal with that when it comes. I feel like I don't want to accidentally try and do first contact and fuck it up. And then accidentally my well-meaning first contact causes a fucking Battenberg war.
Yeah, how could Battenberg and maths have gone wrong? No one would have seen it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do first contact.
I don't think anyone knows how to do first contact.
Right, yeah. Okay. I'm concerned about these structures. I don't install anything on the ground. I install orbital satellites that monitor the structures.
You're really scared of these people.
No, I'm not scared of these people. As soon as there's these people there and they're not happy with us, we're going back to Earth. All the cuboids have got rockets in, so we can just remove our city immediately.
So firstly, there might not be anything there. Firstly, there might not be no life on this planet. Secondly...
Yeah, which is why I've got the orbital satellites. Nothing comes up. Right, fair.
Okay, so now people are living... Are we like... Is it the same plan, but it's just floating instead? People are still taking the Nemesis around as they orbit?
No, they're not orbiting yet. No, they're on the... Only if it is revealed that there are already people on the planet.
Okay, so all the people... Let's say Earth is now scorched by climate change.
Yep.
We need to be getting people into this new colony.
So Earth's gone.
Earth is not gone. It's fucked.
Okay.
It's there,
but
it's fucked. It's 2026.
And we're trying to re-terraform. And we need to re-terraform Earth back. Use our terraform technology we're using on Mars. We need to terraform Earth back.
So they've brought you 6 years into the future as sort of a guru.
Yeah.
And they've gone, forget Mars. We need to just fix the Earth. A problem that is already widely understood to be too hard, or they haven't done it already.
Okay, so Earth, we can't... I assumed if we've got terraform technology for Mars, we could terraform Earth back to be good. But
the terraforming is like the introduction of plants and fauna and the slow creation of a breathable atmosphere. It doesn't turn back and no ozone. It doesn't turn back greenhouse gases. It can't suck the heat out.
Terraforming is making a planet inhabitable for us. If Earth's become uninhabitable for us, we can terraform it.
Earth's been nuked.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, radiation. Okay, Earth's been nuked. So now we have to... Okay, well...
We need a place for the refugees.
I got orbital satellites that monitor the structures. And then back in Megacity 1...
And how long are you going to tell the refugees to wait?
No, we continue. We're not waiting. We're carrying on. We already built it. We already built one of the cuboids.
Okay, so we've got a cuboid. We've got the friend Nemesis spinning around.
The hangout.
So what's next? So people can come and start living there?
Yeah, everything. We got everything. We got schools, hospitals, childcare, slides. If you don't want to use a turbo lift, you can use a slide.
Okay, it only works one way. Or have you worked out a new...
Turbo lift. Turbo lift up, slide down.
Turbo lift up, slide down. Okay, snakes and ladders in the future.
Axe throwing.
What is that suggestion for, please?
What do people like to do?
Is that a leisure activity? Yeah. Axe throwing.
Yeah. What do people like to do? I'm trying to cater to people who aren't me. So it's just me and just be a fucking...
A hologram.
Oh, right. We've got holograms. Holodeck.
Yeah, holodeck.
Yeah.
The holodeck's where you can just basically make a fantasy exist as a...
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. You could walk around the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, Scorsese's 3.5 hour holodeck adventure.
That's what they'd call it.
I've got Scorsese. Scorsese's still alive in 2026 and I've brought him.
Yeah. He's making holograms.
He's cracking out hologram adventures.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything from before. So there was a massive revolution and global communism exists. So a lot of the brands you're aware of do exist. They've still kept these ideas of like Netflix exists.
All right.
But now it works like in the same way that SpaceX has been taken over. There's no reason to gut the company and turn something else. Just SpaceX.
It's just owned by the people now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just publicly owned. So you could put Netflix to work on the holiday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What else would I need? Sewage systems.
Yeah. Running water. You'd need also a regular supply of food.
Yep. I'd if I'm starting from scratch, then I wouldn't have to deal with dismantling the meat industry. Try and build everything as sustainably as possible.
Are you going to have meat? Are you the meat that just grows in a petri dish?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's the future.
Everyone's having...
So the people that need to do all the things that allow this society to function, how are they managed? How is
They manage themselves. Soviets, workers' councils.
Explain the workers' council. Like how is it going to work here in the future?
Has everyone already left Earth because it's been nuked and then they're hovering in Earth, and then what's going on? What's the situation? So Earth's been nuked. Where's everyone at?
Areas of Earth have been nuked. And then there are different clusters of refugees that are given there's all sort of a queue essentially, and there are certain ranks of risk, and if you're a higher risk, you're sort of headed up in the queue, and eventually we're just going to all live on Mars.
Sweet. So anyone who wants to help out, who has the skills to help out, because they're going to want to, because they're not going to stay on radiated Earth, presumably, them and their families can come, and then we'll have some way to set up temporary living places, and then they can just self-organize. But this is just going to be me, end up with me just deferring everything to the people very, very quickly.
I guess you only need to get the ball roll then. But you have been asked by a representative of the people to at least design a schematic for the city.
Yeah.
That was the schematic.
And then if people want to change that up, I'm fine with that.
Jackopolis.
Oh, no.
Too much.
No, too much. Don't like it.
Just Neubau. Neustadt. Fast forward 2 years.
Okay.
Because your body's been sent back, but your consciousness that they took to the future, that remains. They've stuck it in a nearby Internet of Things fridge.
All right.
And it's continued to offer some helpful advice.
Cool.
A majority of the refugees, if not all of the refugees, are now settled on Mars.
Wicked.
And that's
they're in the cuboid.
And that's when the natives attack.
Yeah, see, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming way back. Sorry, they attack. Well, are they violent straight away? It's irrelevant because
There is an ambiguous explosion.
Oh, so it can't be directly attributed to them.
Not easily. They have a lot of plausible deniability if you're even able to.
Could it be class enemies?
What could it come from within the community? It's an ambiguous explosion.
Show trials.
Okay. Who are you show trialing?
Who's done it? Whoever's done it.
We don't. This is the nature of investigation.
The fridge decrees.
Like, you can't have like the head of the police being like, just arrest who did it. It's not helpful.
Yeah. Well, that's what we want to try and do. Like, investigation.
Okay.
Investigation. Who did it?
Okay.
Once we find out who did it properly.
Yeah.
If it's one of us.
Look, I realise I can't just say arrest who did it. Find who did it, and then
exactly. Yeah, find who did it. Is it likely I'm going to find who did it? Or is it saying
what are you doing? How are you trying to find it out?
Well, I don't know. I'm not an investigator. I'd ask some investigators to do it.
Right. Why are we deferring to the fridge?
Get some investigators to do it. If they find who did it, show trial. Because we're having none of that. We're having no blowing up by fascists.
There is
fascist militias trying to blame it on native peoples. My options are it could be wrong-uns trying to sabotage our new human civilization, or it could be native Martians.
Yeah.
What is making me think it's native Martians? Because I've only seen the structures.
I've got an answer for you.
Okay.
There is some kind of factionalist group that for some reason has taken to blowing up some of the factories.
All right.
And their resources they have cannot be accounted for within the one city that everyone lives in, meaning that someone has been providing aid to a group that wants to blow up part of the city, but you don't know whether these outside resources have come from some of the
Earthers.
From the Earthers, the one true Earthers.
I would assume it was them.
Yeah. Or it could be from a potential native group.
What it would be is it would be the Earthers behaving like the CIA, because presumably even if we've had a successful revolution, maybe we didn't get them all. And maybe
you can't possibly get them all.
Yeah, and we couldn't eradicate the idea, so the idea's back.
And for those people who've been left back on Earth, sure, it's irradiated. Yeah. But it was fucked in the first place anyway.
Oh, we've got mutants?
I can't say for sure if they're mutants.
Okay.
They're wrong-uns.
Yeah, okay.
And that's as far as I'll go.
So they've got resources from somewhere. Is it human tech?
It's very advanced, but you don't know what's been worked on Earth as well.
Okay. So it's not Martian. It
looks like Martian, but it looks a bit like how an 80s John Carpenter Aliens on Mars gun might look. So it looks so on the nose like a Martian thing that you're skeptical. It looks like how a Hollywood alien device would look.
Okay, yeah, it looks like a setup.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to frame the Martians. I declare war on Earth.
Okay.
I, as an AI fridge, would say to the representatives of the People's Soviet, I recommend we investigate, find proof of what's happened. If we find it to be the Earthers, we immediately put anyone who is responsible, who remains on Mars, on trial.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, we return to Earth so this does not happen again.
And return to Earth to fight and kill?
That's correct.
Wow. I also quite like that...
They drew first blood.
They did.
And they're going to keep doing it.
If it definitely is them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would find out if it was definitely them first. And if it was definitely them, anyone who could be remotely to be blamed for it, we go after them.
Yeah, but you're basing all of these incredibly decisive and violent responses on a level of certainty that never exists ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I could achieve the certainty...
Which is implausible in any reality.
If I could achieve the certainty, then I'd do that. But what do I find? What does my investigation yield?
You found some very strange, like, bioorganic explosives that you've never heard of. You didn't know such a thing was possible. They're explosives, but they're alive. And it's made to look sort of Hollywood, gooey, gross, alien kind of stuff. It's a little bit over the top. But at the same time...
I assume they would have already done this. But again, my decisive and violent action would only occur in absolute certainty and only be targeted those directly to blame, right? So let's say that doesn't happen. I assume if we're in a situation of less certainty and we're already worried about these Earthers, that we would have a spy network in the Earthers. So AI Fridge Jack would recommend setting up, if they haven't already done so, a spy network inside the Earthers. I would also recommend that the Soviet dispatch an R&D and communications team to the Martian ruins.
Okay. Your spies no longer are able to survive on Earth due to the nature of the radiation which is inculcated in the planet. No, those who have lived on Earth
we've turned Earthers.
We've turned Earthers.
Because if the revolution began on Earth, then there's Earthers who sympathise with us and that remain there but haven't yet joined our colony for one reason or another.
For one reason or another. What reason would you have?
Why would everyone move? Because you said we can't have everyone move straight away. So there'll be people left over who believe in good stuff but are still
they're in the queue.
So they may be resentful. But
the queue is like a physical queue. The queue is a line of like refugee ships going.
Okay, so that's been dealt with pretty quickly then. So they're all, anyone who wants to be on Mars is there.
Basically.
So who are these ones that have stayed up in Earth?
Yeah, like people who don't want to join this new civilization who always disagreed with the...
Why not? We got Nemesis.
They're wrong. There's always going to be a proportion of any population that doesn't want leftist ideas, regardless, irrespective if the alternative is living in radiation and dying. They're going to do it.
They can come down. They can come onto Mars.
No, they don't want to. That's what I'm saying. They resist it with every fibre of their being. They're like certain religious groups won't have blood transfusions and they'll just die. It's like that level of vehemence.
So we've not got a spy network.
You can't spy network. They live in like absolute toxicity.
Drones, AI drones, spies.
What, just to hover out of reach?
Mm-hmm.
They'll shoot them down.
No, they can't see them. They can't detect them.
All right. I'll accept that. Okay, invisible spy network. And there's absolutely no evidence. And your recon team you sent to the natives do not return. No response.
They don't return? No response. Okay, that means the natives are real. Okay. Direct resources to further investigation of the Martian ruins. We send... What do we send? Oh, what would I recommend? I send another research and development team, but I don't send like a lot of military people. I just send some. Because we don't want to escalate it. We just got to find out exactly what happened. So they need to track down what happened. What happens to these guys. Second team goes out. So
it's just the same thing, but there's more of them. Yeah?
Yeah.
They find a tunnel.
What? Was that there before?
It could just be a natural opening. It could just be a fissure over time.
Yeah.
However, when they go inside...
Why do they go inside? Deploy probe.
Okay, then when the probe goes inside, they discover sort of huge walls of like undulating flesh.
Oh, okay.
Like membrane.
The planet's alive?
The planet's...
You're saying the planet's alive?
The planet is a single organism, yeah.
Right. Or it could be... what's happened to the team? The first team? Do we find the first team? Are they dead? Have they been attacked?
First team are dead.
What's happened to their corpses? Have we discovered dead, but do they just lay there?
Sort of partially swallowed and burnt by the Earth.
By the Mars.
By the Mars.
In the hole. And they're in the hole.
They'd gone too near to the fissure is what it looks like.
Yeah, and been attacked.
And it's almost like that's like a cut on someone's skin, and going too near it causes issues. So it's just burnt and scorched them and turned that area into like a quicksand temporarily. But that could be its instinctive response. Sure. We don't know its level of intelligence. Absolutely. We don't even know if it's like awake. We don't know if it has like sentience. We need to find a way to communicate with it. How do you communicate with the planet? Don't know, but we need to find a way. Okay. You start a drill doing Morse code. I mean, that's quite likely to send you the same way as those researchers. We build a little tiny monitoring research and development station outside the opening, and we maintain communications with the city and try and just investigate how to communicate with it. We need to communicate with it, even if it takes years. This doesn't seem... This monster... It's not a monster. Why are you saying monster? Monster is in like, a different being that we don't understand, and it's kind of scary because it's killed our people. Yeah. I'm pro-monster. I'm ambivalent. Yeah. Monster is not loaded for me, right? I don't see monster. I don't see monster. Yeah. It's just if it's killed a load of people and it's big and weird, it's monster. Okay, right. So, but I'm not making any judgments. This Mars, the thing that's Mars, Mars monster. It clearly, if the planet's alive, it's not made a bomb to just kill us. It's not made that. That's definitely the Earthers. Yeah. That is definitely implied. So you've got two problems. Yeah, easy. Yeah. Easy? Yeah, absolutely easy. The monster
has done nothing to us until we intruded in its hole.
Uh-huh.
The monster's fine. The monster's not a problem. We're just on it. It's not done anything. It's like living on a snail's shell if you're an ant.
If you were to attack the Earthers, because they live in still a nuclear world, they still have nukes.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And I think even if it didn't eradicate your whole civilization, the Mars monster might not take too kindly to being nuked.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll have to explain that to the Earth. We'll have to send an email or something.
Please don't attack us. Also, we're going to eradicate you.
No, we'll say, listen, Mars has got something in it. Mars is something. Look, here's a video.
Yeah. See attached
hologram.
Probe footage
can do a hologram.
MP4.
Yeah. Go in this hologram and have a look. Look, it's killed some of our guys. We know it was you bastards, that did that bomb. So don't do that again.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Again in all caps.
What do you want? Like, what do you want?
They're crazed zealots. They want the end of your civilization.
Well, they want to wipe us out.
Yeah. They just oppose you.
Yeah.
That's like fundamental to their culture, is the opposition of everything you stand for.
And they're going to keep attacking us?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to go.
Okay. But if you go, they'll wake up Mars.
They might not wake up Mars. Well, what if they... Oh, this is a nightmare. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. This is what we do.
Uh-huh.
The city, as I already mentioned, is able to rocket into space if it needs to.
Uh-huh.
The city rockets into space.
Yeah.
We have remaining nukes. We fire nukes at Mars from the direction of the Earthers, so that the Mars monster thinks that the Earthers have attacked it. The Mars monster then awakens. And will wipe out the Earthers.
Okay.
And we'll just live in space.
Okay, so we watch this unfold. You nuke your own planet from the direction of Earth.
Monster. It's not a planet. We thought it was a planet. Turns out it's a big monster.
Functionally, to you, it's a planet.
Yeah.
It is also on top of that.
Yeah.
I won't say monster because I don't have the same beliefs as Jack. A beast, creature.
Yeah.
It awakens and you see cracks emerge across the entire surface of Mars.
Oh, cool.
And you see a huge maw emerge. You cannot see its eyes. Maybe it doesn't have eyes, but you can see definitely an aperture like a mouth.
Yeah.
And from it, lots of intersecting, not teeth, almost like stalactites of deep earthen rock. And it moves itself, propels itself towards Earth, and bites off maybe a whole third of it in one swoop. Earth is being eaten.
And we get to watch this.
And it is crunching through Earth, and the vibrations of a planet being crushed by sheer geothermal force is sending shockwaves through your orbiting planetary city of intersecting roller coasters, sending it off course further into the solar system, but you can still watch through your long-range scan as the Earth, consumed by this massive gargantuan Mars beast, is destroyed and all the Earthers on it. But then
I feel bad.
Maybe you're anthropomorphizing it, but it sounds like it looks like the Mars is coughing. It looks like Mars didn't realise that the planet it was eating is poison.
No!
Toxic nuclear poison is now swarming through its internal, maybe organs, maybe veins, who knows what canals of fast-flowing liquid course through this planet's body. And it also perishes. And you watch it die, and everyone on Earth die, as you and your colony slowly drifts towards the sun.
Okay, that went wrong.
No do-over. You wake up Monday morning, you feel fine. You've got 5 years left. You'll die long before you ever see that happen.
But yeah,
because
I was the one who went back before it went wrong. I don't have the memories of Fridge, so I'm still going to do all the events that bring about.
No, you die in the war. Remember?
Yeah, well, that guy dies in the war. But when I go back Monday morning, waking up, Jack has none of the memories of the Fridge. The last thing I did was set up the colony.
Yeah.
Well, however this goes, I definitely know we're going to have communist SpaceX and Nemesis.
Yeah, it'd be good for a bit.
So I don't know. 2 years.
And if you're wondering where I was in this story, because I wasn't mentioned, I was Mars.
Sean!
I got ya.
Oh, bloody hell!
I was having a nap.
I could have communicated with you.
Nah, I was out of it. Mandatory Redistribution Party was created and produced by Sean Morley and Jack Evans. Our title theme was created by Ella Jean, with additional music by Sean Morley. As ever, thank you for listening, and to all those who share the episodes on social media. The podcast must grow and expand like grey goo until nothing else can thrive. Go now in peace.